In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up an event management system on a WordPress website. Here's the website I have designed for you guys. This is a simple website. I've designed it as a piano teacher. So in this case, this is a practical example that if you are, let's say, a piano teacher and you do different kinds of events, let's say you do doubt solving classes, online teaching, music sessions. So we can create different events that support that kind of basically events. So this is the website, and we'll be using a specific plugin to create this event features on our website. And the plugin is called Sugar Calendar. So this is the website for Sugar Calendar. I'll leave the link on the screen as well, and also in the description of this video. Now this does have a free version, Sugar Calendar Lite. You can use that for basic features, but today, because this is an extensive video, I'll show off some of the pro features as well. Just to give an example, there are pro features include Zapier integration. So if you want to showcase Zapier or connect with Zapier and do all sorts of automations, you can do that with the pro version. And also event ticketing is also a pro version. I'm going to show and demonstrate how that works as well. So of course, you'll need to make a purchase if you want to use the pro version. I have the plugin already on my site. So what I'll do is just head to my plugin section on my site and install the plugins quickly. So I'm inside the plugin section. I went to add new plugin, upload plugin. And since I'm using the pro version, I'm using the zip file that I've downloaded from Sugar Calendar's website. If you want to use the light version, just search for Sugar Calendar and install the plugin. But I'll use the pro version here. So I'll just drag and drop it here. Let's install the plugin. Let's also activate it. So Sugar Calendar Pro is installed. Let's also add the license key to activate the plugin as well. And now the license key is also activated. Let me quickly demonstrate the features on how you can utilize Sugar Calendar to do all sorts of things on your site. So I'll click continue. And mainly the two features that you should be concerned the most with are calendars and events at first. So you have events here, you have calendars here. The first thing I would suggest is go to calendars. Now calendars basically just mean different calendars. So if you have an event in different kinds of categories, you can create different calendars for it, because the ability to create calendars, or not the ability, but if you create different calendars, you can put them or show them on different sections of your website. So a practical example here would be, let's say if you're a fitness studio and you do all sorts of classes. So you do Pilates, you do weight loss, you do resistance training, you do some cardio, aerobics, all sorts of exercises. And all these events technically are in fitness, but the audience might be completely different. So instead of showing off all the events on the same page, which might be confusing to users, you can create 4 different calendars and then integrate them on 4 different pages on your site. So that's the reason why you have calendars. But let's say, for example, in this particular example of this website where I'm showing off a music teacher, then you can use the same logic and figure out if you need multiple calendars or not. So the feature exists. And by the way, if you show here, the default calendar, one default calendar is already added. Event now, you can see it, my calendar. You can rename it. I'll just stick to my calendar. I'll say, I'll just edit it and change it to, let's say, for example, music classes online. So I'll just change this to piano lessons, something like that. And you also have all sorts of other features that you can do with the calendars. For example, you can have parent calendars, you can have branches and different things. You can change the colors, and you also have feeds, which are very important. I'll talk to you about that later. But simple example, you don't have to worry about this right now. I'll show you the feature later. But basically, you can edit calendars and add new calendars as well. And once you're happy with calendars, I'll update it. And once you have created a certain calendar, or at least one calendar, the default one, then you can start going and working on events. This is where the magic happens. So let's go to events here. And inside the event section, we'll see a lot of different features to create and add events. So right now you see this is your default calendar view for existing events that you have created. And of course, this is a new website, so there is no events here. There are no events here. So how do we add an event? Of course, we go here, add new event. Let me also close this section here. So we can go and click here, which is an add new event button. This will create the process, start the process of creating a new event on your site. So first of all, let's name this event. So let's say I'll name it chord practice, not chord practice. So let's say we're doing specific sessions on practicing chords on the piano for students. So this is chord practice. And here we can configure entirety of our event basically. So what's the duration? Let's say it's all day. Of course, no, you can't practice chords all day, but you can have an all day event if it's a physical event. And you can start date. So for example, I'm recording this on the 18th of December. So I'll make sure it's on 19th, and I'll start it at, let's say, 6:30 p.m. And we'll do the session for 2 hours, let's say. So 6 to 8:30. So we can have defined the start time and end time. And recurrence is also a very cool feature. So let's say tomorrow is Thursday, and you want to do these sessions on every Thursday. So you can say, hey, repeats? Yes, it repeats weekly, and then every 1 week on Thursday. and then it ends never, or you can say, hey, it ends after 6 months or a year. So you can create one event and just basically extend it out to however long you like instead of having to create multiple events, which is a cool feature. So I'll make it a recurring event, weekly one on Thursday. Then you have the location feature as well. And of course, if you're conducting location-based events or physical events, you can add the address here. You also have the feature inside Sugar Calendar to add your Google Maps API key. So you can actually display a Google Maps integration. I might show that off once we have done the basic features, but you can have the map pins and integration on your site as well. So users can actually find or easily find the location you're holding your events in. For this particular event, I'm going to skip that. And then you have the link. So in this link, what you can do is, let's say if you have a separate registration page or event detail page you want to connect to, then you can enable this feature, which is the redirect option. And in this case, users, when they click on an event page, will be redirected to this particular page. So let's say, for example, you have shown some displays, or I'd say some mention some detail on the page, but you want the registration to happen through a webinar software, like let's say Zoom. So what you can say is that, hey, when people actually click on an event page, the redirect should be turned on to a particular Zoom registration page. So in that case, the registration process will happen on the Zoom or Zoom link, and then that's how you can handle this. So you can also add external pages here. So let's say you're conducting an offline meetup, but the location page, or I'd say the detailed page about the event, is hosted on another website. So you can just redirect users to that particular page that, hey, this is what the event is about, but we are hosting it locally in our town, something like that. So that can happen as well. So if you use this feature, of course, you'll have to turn on redirection. Add the URL here so that which page people are redirected to. You can also redirect them to Google Forms if you're using Google Forms, just an example. But ideally, you should be collecting information on your website. And then you also have a target. That means you can click and have a link open a new tab, and also the text. So instead of the URL, this might be the anchor text that'll show up. So that's also an option. For this, I'm going to keep it simple and not add this at all. And the next option is the ticketing feature. Now, ticketing option is pretty cool, but for using ticketing, you have to enable and use the ticketing add-on. So for this particular event, I'm going to showcase or not use this. I'll create a couple of events and showcase how it's done. So let's keep the ticketing sales off for now. And what I'll do is simply publish this event. So I'll click publish, and in a couple of seconds, the page will be published. And now you can see the page is published. And this is the URL of the page. So if I click and right click and open it in a new tab, you'll see the particular event page. So this is the event page specifically for this event, and you can see all the details here. And if you remember, I was talking about the feeds. So you can see the feeds here. So this is a great feature inside Sugar Calendar. You can see, of course, all the details. And if you want to add it to your own calendar, just have to click here or hover over it, and you'll see add it to Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, Apple Calendar, and you can even download this event particularly. So the idea being that people can see this page on your website, and then just hover over it, click Google Calendar, whatever calendar they use, and integrate and save it to their own calendars to set up reminders and all that. So this is a built-in feature. You don't even have to configure it. That's pretty cool, right? So we've just created an event page, but this is not a page that users will be able to find easily unless you show them how. So how do we add these kind of details to regular pages on your site? Let me show you that. So going back to a site here inside the admin area, let's assume that we're going to create a new post on our site. So in this case, let's say we are a piano teacher, and we'll talk about, hey, what chord you should learn as a beginner. Let's say that's the post. So if you go here and let the new page load for a second. So on this page, I'll add the title as beginner chord practice. And let's say assume that I create a complete post about detailing which chords to practice, images and everything else. And I also want to add the specific calendar and also either showcase the event or the calendar itself. So in this case, I have the option of using Sugar Calendar's blocks, which are particularly useful when doing things like this. So what we can do is, if I want to showcase, let's say just the event, so I'll just use the plus button here to add a new block. I'll just type in Sugar. You can see I have the events calendar or events list. So the calendar will showcase a calendar view, so you can have different kinds of event, and the list will have the list of the events. So since we have just created the one event, I'm going to use the list option here. And once it opens, you can see this is the event, and users can actually scroll around and see different kinds of events. You also have built-in features, all the different options already here. And all you have to do is publish the page, and you'll see it happening live on your site. So this is how easy it is to just use the block and add it to anything. And since it's a block, you can add it to also different sections of your site. You can add it to sidebars, footers, everywhere else. And if I view the post here or show you the post here, it'll look great out of the box. So you don't have to even worry. So this is a nice little page here that we've just created. And this can be a blog post, this can be any home page or any other site, or just a dedicated page for showcasing upcoming events as well. And users can see here, click chord practice. And since this is the direct link, If you click on this, then users will be directed to the actual event page. So you can have lots of events shown up here. So the idea being that chord practice is one event, but you can have chord practice, you can have beginner lessons and pro lessons, let's say arpeggios, I don't know, I'm not a piano guy, but song practice and all that. And all the different events can show up here. So users will exactly know when they can attend a certain event. So these are the basic features inside Sugar Calendar. But going back here, now, inside the event section, we just created one event. So let's go to the event section or the calendar section the event section, and let's see the calendar view for our events. So you can see here, since we've added this chord practice as a weekly event, you can see the recurring links coming up here. So that's one great way to see, hey, which calendar events are scheduled on our site. So let's add one more event. Let's say we sell an online course about piano and we are doing a webinar to explain people how to get started with the piano. So I'll create a new event here, and let's say we'll just create a new event and we'll schedule and add it to the calendar as well. So I'll go here and I'll say beginners piano roadmap. And this is the event. I'll click on this to open event details. And of course, you can add details here as well. I completely skipped that part. The idea is that you can use this as a description to explain what the event is about. So I can just write it here. So this is the description of this particular event. And we'll do the same things. We'll just add a start date. So I'll just make sure it's on, let's say, the Saturday. So let's do it at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. and ends at, let's say, 8 p.m. So 2-hour event once again. Recurrence is, I'll just say, hey, weekly, and it does every 2 weeks. So I do a webinar, let's say every 2 weeks, and I do it on a Saturday, and the ending is never. Once again, I can add the location here as well, and I can add a new link as well. I'm going to skip this part and also leave the ticketing out. Once I've done this or shown this to you, then I'll show you how to add the ticketing options as well. Let's also publish this here. So the roadmap is now published. Now, if we go back to our events calendar, we'll see our event already created here. So you can see beginners piano roadmap, beginners piano roadmap. So now if I go back to the blog post here, so beginner chord practice, let's say we create a new blog post. So if I go back and create a new blog post and I'm talking about, hey, how a beginner can get started with the piano. So I can click here, and what I can do is I can showcase a calendar of all the events I'm going to be taking place. So I'll say beginners piano roadmap. And this can be any page as you like. So this can be a beginner's roadmap. This can be a dedicated squeeze page or landing page where you're just showing off how people can register. So in this case, what I'm going to do is instead of adding the event list, I'm going to add the calendar view. So I'm going to click once again on the plus icon. I'm going to type in sugar, and we'll see an events calendar. So I'll click on this and you'll see the calendar actually show up directly here. Just pretty cool, right? So easy. So let's click publish and publish. And once this is published, I'll show you the page in a new tab just to give you a real world taste of how users will experience this on your website. So you can see here, I can scroll through months. So next month as well. So it's pretty interactive. We can do filters. So we can see piano lessons, calendars. So you can add different calendars. So if you say do a beginner's lesson, you have multiple calendars here. You want to see events only on Saturdays. That's pretty cool. You can do that as well. So all this is available to users. Then you can have month view, week view. So let's say I'm interested in events that's happening this week. I'm going to see the week view with detail of, let's say, all the dates here. So pretty cool stuff. And I can go back to month and I can even search for events. And if let's say I find this, hey, beginner's piano roadmap, I can click on it and I can just see, hey, all the details. If you're a beginner on the piano and I want to see and interested in this, I'm going to click here. And here I can either just have the details here. I can add it to my calendar. If it's a paid event, I can add ticketing features as well. Or I can redirect users to a, let's say, a registration page on Zoom or any other event website. So that's how easy it is to set up basic calendars, events, and all that, how that works together. Now let's also talk about how to set up payment options here. Now, as I mentioned, payment and event ticketing is a pro feature. You'll need an extension for Sugar Calendar, which you can download from your dashboard here. It's available inside the dashboard. I already have it downloaded. So what I'm going to do is go back here and I'm going to head to the plugin section once again because we'll add the new event ticketing plugin. And once that is done, I'm going to show you how to add the ticketing or paid options here. So let's click upload plugin and I'm going to drag the event ticketing add-on that I have here, right here, and click install now. I'll take a few seconds to install. Let's also activate it. All right, so the plugin is now installed and activated. That means the add-on for Sugar Calendar is now installed and activated. Before we use the add-on, we'll have to configure our payment options. So I'll go into Sugar Calendar settings. Sugar Calendar, we'll go to settings here. And inside the settings, we'll find a payments tab here. So let's go to payments tab. And inside the payments tab, you can configure currency, symbols, separators, and everything. But most importantly, we have to connect with Stripe. Otherwise, you can't collect payments, right? Now, since this is a test website, I'm going to connect in test mode. So I'll enable this option first and then click this button, connect with Stripe, which will enable, or I say work with test mode. But if you are just, I'd say when you're starting out, use the test mode. And once you're happy, everything works, disable test mode, go live mode, but you'll have to connect Stripe once again. So just keep in mind that I'm connecting in test mode just for this example. I'll click connect with Stripe and it'll take us to Stripe's interface, and we might have to do a couple of steps here. So let me just quickly show you. So I already have my Stripe account connected, which is a test account. I made it long back. So I can see this form directly here, and I can just click the connect button, but you might need to sign up or just create a free account with Stripe and just go through the process once again. It's pretty simple. And for test mode, you don't even have to add bank accounts, all the details, just have to connect your account. So you can see my test mode account is already showing up. So I'll just click connect. And in a few seconds, my Stripe account or the Stripe test account will be connected. Now, if you see something like this where you see you have to connect the bank information, now I'm from India and Stripe isn't even available in India. So even if I had a bank account, I wouldn't be able to connect with Stripe. So in this case, what I can do is just go back to Sugar Calendar. Since the account is connected, it should directly work. So let's go back to our website and we'll see if the connection works. So as I said, the connection does work. So you can see test mode is on and connection status is connected in test mode. That's all we want for the demonstration. So now what we can do is, let's say if I want to make sure that the beginner's roadmap lessons or webinar that I'm doing is actually paid. So what I'm going to do is go back to our events, because we're going to customize a couple of events, and go here to beginner's piano roadmap. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to see the edit option. I can duplicate it, trash, and view it as well. I'm going to edit it. And inside this option, I can go to the tickets and I can enable ticket options. Now, just for demonstration, I am going to keep the ticket price to 0 because I need to find a test account and test details and test credit card numbers. So the process will work the same, the integration will work the same, but I'm just keeping the price to low. And you can also have a capacity that, yes, let's say only 100 people can attend. So you can set this as well. So let's click update and done. So we just changed this event to a premium paid event. So if I go back here, which is this, I'm going to clear my cache just to be sure. Let's say purge all. And you can see the ticketing options show up. So just to give an example, if I go back here for a second on the roadmap page, and if I click on this, the user flow, how it is going to look like, users can land on any page on your site which has the calendar or event list built in, or you can just promote it the direct page for the event as well. They can click here, they'll find the details of everything, click here, and basically reach the event page where they'll see, hey, you can buy a ticket for X amount of dollars, and you can see all these details here. So let's say I'm happy to purchase one ticket. I'm going to click add to cart and all the details will show up here. So I'll quickly fill in my details and I'll just copy from billing details my attendee information, and I can add more attendees as well. So I can purchase more than one ticket on the same event. So I can see event summary, everything else. I'm happy with it. I'm going to click purchase. And if the event is paid, then the pop-up will open up to enter credit card information for the users, and then they can make the purchase. But after that's done, people will reach here, which is the receipt page. People can see all the details about the event, send by email, print, view, everything else. And they can download it and do whatever with this like. Now, just to clarify, if you want to see which events are being sold, then you can actually obviously see that as well. So going back to our website, if you go here, we have in Sugar Calendar, we also have a tickets option here. So inside the tickets option, we'll find the options to see what tickets are being sold. So you can see right now, you see my name, the attendee here, the code, ticket ID, and the event details as well. So, and now you can see also the order details coming in from Stripe. So both information should be same. And this also shows the total amount of money that is coming in through the event sales. And if you want to see here, you can send an email directly to confirm. And a couple of additional features you can customize with event tickets. So if I go back to settings for a second, inside the settings, I show you the payment options, but there's a ticket options here as well. So if you go into the tickets option, we can customize what the experience is like for users who purchase tickets. So first option is the ticket details page. This is a page created automatically. You don't have to customize it, but you can use this shortcode to add the ticket details for the particular user on any page. That's like. Then you have the email address option here. Then you have the name. That means the email coming in, let's say, what's the send information for the emails that'll be going out. So this is where it's going to come from. And if you customize the order receipt email as well, you can do that. So what's the email going to look like? This is going to be subject line. This is going to be receipt message, and you can have these details, and you have short codes here basically. So you can add event details, dynamic information about the event directly inside the email. And you can have the receipt email as well, and a similar customization option exists for the receipt email as well. So basically, I've shown you everything about Sugar Calendar. I've shown you how to create calendars, how to add events on your site, and how to add free events, paid events, recurring events, and all sorts of details about events and how you can customize them. So that's pretty much it. So that's how you can create an event management system right inside WordPress using Sugar Calendar. As I said, Sugar Calendar is completely free to use, the light version. You can go and check the link in the description for this. But I'd recommend, if you are serious about using calendars and events on your website, then upgrade to the Pro version. It's fantastic, as I just demonstrated. If you have any questions or other suggestions for videos we should make, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And of course, you're watching Yuvraj from W Beginner. I'll catch you in the next video very, very soon. Take care.